Now, turn red, she commanded, to tempt Snow White, to make her hunger for a bite.
Story Bugs.
Hello and welcome to Story Time. We're going to continue our chapter book with Chapter 9 of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, adapted from the film by Jim Rossi, illustrated by Fernando Guel and Fred Marvin. So we will pick up here. Oh, it looks like this is a spooky chapter. Chapter 9. Soon the whole house was still, with only the snoring of the seven dwarfs downstairs to break the silence. Outside, the forest too was quiet, its creatures having settled down for the night. But there was someone who was wide awake and busily concocting a deadly present, the evil queen. The old hag held a large apple on a string over a steaming cauldron. "Dip the apple in the brew," the queen witch intoned. "Let the sleeping death seep through." The apple disappeared into the bubbling liquid, and when the witch pulled it out again a few seconds later, the brew dripped down the apple's sides, leaving the shape of a skull on its skin. "Ah," sighed the witch, "on the skin the symbol of what lies within. Now, turn red," she commanded, "to tempt Snow White, to make her hunger for a bite." At that, the apple turned into a beautiful ruby red. The witch held the apple in her hand and thrust it at her pet raven. "Have a bite," she murmured wickedly. The bird shuddered and backed away from the poisoned treat. The witch laughed in mischievous glee. "It's not for you anyway," she cried in a raspy voice. "It's for Snow White. When she breaks the tender peel to taste the apple in my hand," the hag went on, "her breath will still, her blood congeal. Then I'll be the fairest in the land." Then the witch paused and frowned. "Wait," she said to the raven. "There may be an antidote. Nothing must be overlooked." She scurried over to her book of spells and flipped through it once again. Suddenly, her bony fingers stopped at one of the pages. "Ah, I was right. Here it is," she said. The witch started to read. "The victim of sleeping death can be revived only by love's first kiss." "Love's first kiss," she hissed. "No fear of that. The dwarves will think she's dead, and they'll bury her alive." "Buried alive," she screeched over and over, as she grabbed a basket full of other apples and gently placed the poison one among them. With the basket of apples under one arm, the witch left the dungeon and descended the stone steps leading to the river that streamed beneath the castle. She got into a small boat and started to row away into the night. A pale moon hung overhead, and shadows fell over her craggy features, making her face look like a ghastly white skull. That's the next chapter. I hope you guys will come back and read more about Snow White with us. We'll see you next time. If you guys enjoyed reading that story, would you please click subscribe down below? We read new stories just like this one every day, and we would love to let you know when there's a new story to listen to.